What's up, chat? Welcome back to the stream. It is Monday. We are indulging in a little bit of mayhem, and the mayhem we have been granted today to indulge in is Adepta Sororitas, which is neat. I'm excited about that. So we'll talk about that momentarily. There's some pretty wild stuff inside their new detachments. In addition, I've also been asked very kindly to tell you about something else, and that is the 10th Warhammer Skulls. They gave me another box. I love these. I'm collecting them. They're my favorite boxes. So this is like a Games Workshop's annual fucking video game thing. So I'm sure they'll show off some Dawn of War and some Total War stuff. I'm sure they'll also tell us when it happens. They gave me some things, some tchotchkes. I got some painting. I got an Age of Sigmar, one of those. I got a Blood Angels hat. That's nice, I guess. I don't think I'm gonna wear that one over my normal one, but you know, at least I have it now. As well as there's some other stuff in here. A dice tray. Hell yeah! I can showcase my aptitude at rolling, plus a Joy Toy, Blightlord Terminator, and something in a white box over here. What the fuck is this? Look at all these tchotchkes, chat. What is this thing? Is this a vibrator? That might be correct. Oh, it's a water bottle. Oh, okay. Well, that's cute. All right, chat. Well, the thing is, this is all bribery for me to tell you when their Warhammer showcase is happening, which is listed on this letter, which says Thursday, the 21st of May. So please go check out the Warhammer Skulls Video Game Festival on Thursday, the 21st of May. Unfortunately, I have to put this box down because it's actually falling apart, which is not ideal because I need to collect all of these. So there you go. Thanks, Warhammer Skulls. You're the best. That's pretty fun. Anyway, chat. Classic unboxing. That was a good time. Let's talk about some Adepta Sororitas. As always, with these faction-focused articles, what we're going to be doing is watching the video in the background, and then anything they talk about that's not on the article, we get to comment on. But also it means that we don't have to go through the entire article twice. So, saves everybody a little bit of time. And we are going to start doing that right now as I click play on this video.
The hidden mechanics, the new interactions that we're going to be dealing with moving into the
it's really quiet.
I think that generally Sisters of Battle can be built to handle quite easily. A lot of people have been talking about the new hidden mechanic, as in being...
They do seem to have a lot of anti-hidden effects, which I guess makes sense. Although, in fairness, Adepta Sororitas largely deal damage in the, like, 18-inch range bracket, so I don't know how much hidden is that helpful. But it does seem like they have a ton of anti-hidden stuff going on.
Essentially unable to be interactive.
I guess it does make
15 inches.
Make sense as the like witch hunting faction.
Don't really care. -1 to hit for cover and hidden doesn't help you against being on fire from a heavy flamer, does it?
Correct, my man. And because of that, I think they're exclusively in quite a strong position to negotiate some of the on-release mechanics. I know as we go deeper into things, people are going to build the tools and build the ways and means to negotiate some of these interactions. But from the off, I think this is looking quite up the table. And then Sacrosanct is heavily...
And this is a detachment
supported in the game now, and that is not going to change because one of
miss all of the intro stuff.
The new detachments we're going to be talking about is definitely going that direction as well.
Right, well, let's dive straight into the detachment. So we're starting off with Chorus of Condemnation.
Hell yeah.
And this is a detachment that benefits jump infantry, which they've got a few options for, and also exorcists. So how does it work?
So this works by having...
Jump infantry and exorcists? Oh, they have a stratagem for exorcists. That's an interesting combination. It does feel like everyone's getting like one of these scout detachments. They've shown off 3 or 4 of these so far, which is like choose a unit type. It becomes your forward operating scout unit, and then you can go and improve detection range with them. And you're like, cool, I guess. It's very cookie cutter. But I guess it's neat that everyone just has the same detection ability, access to it in one case. I almost wonder if they were like, guys, is hidden too strong? Let's just include counterplay in every faction, just in case. Which I guess is, I mean, it is like interesting. That's just the game design, right? We're building an ecosystem. So let's go.
Having your fly infantry, your Adepta Sororitas fly infantry, which in this case is exclusively Seraphim and Zephyrim.
And
So
Celestine.
what they'll be doing, they'll be acting
And Celestine.
as buff pieces.
Adam! And Celestine! Adam, no!
Case debuffing pieces that allows you the rest of your army to activate. They have an ability called condemnatory psalms, in which they will be selecting a unit within 12 inches of an enemy
What a
unit,
great
and they'll have plus
ability name, by the way.
So that 15-inch exclusion will then go to 12 inches at a minimum. There's a bunch of different other ways to interact with
What?
detection range and
No,
hidden mechanics.
18.
But this
That's
is,
not. That's the opposite. It means 18 inches. That's
just a
okay.
fantastic way to have your already good utility pieces acting as extra insurance to get the rest of your army going. And of course, we've talked about a bunch of the melter and close range shooting options, but we also have some very strong long range shooting options in some of the battle tanks.
Yeah, so you're effectively using your fly infantry to drop in again.
I'm surprised, just as an aside, I'm surprised they don't have like a producer on this thing that could just like catch those little slips and then be like, oh, let's re-record that, that like line or whatever. But I guess like they're like, guys, we're gonna bring Tim, I think is the guy's name, and Adam in, and be like, you guys are the rules people, so you know all the rules. But then like when they slip up, which is like understandable, especially because it seems like they recorded all of these videos over 2 days, and so like you're just regurgitating like rules schlock for 48 hours for like 2 8-hour days probably, and you're like at the end of it, you're just like, what am I saying? But like they don't have anybody who could go and like catch that stuff. Like, plus 3 on your detection range to a 15-inch detection range does not become 12, it becomes 18. Kind of stuff. It's also true, chat. Yeah, the general quality of these articles has been abysmal. Now, I will say I do appreciate that they are doing these videos, because in previous editions they haven't, like in previous transitions, they haven't done anything like that. There's been no like communication besides Warhammer community articles at all. So it is like it's a classic Games Workshop faction where it is improving just really slowly, which is pretty interesting. I don't know.
Like highlight an enemy unit so the rest of your army can shoot it from further away, particularly things like the Exorcist. Some of their detachments, some of their stratagems work particularly well with those, but you can use it for any of your units.
Correct. Castigators as well come to mind also. The firstly enhancements is exclusively for a jump pack canoness, and this is going to allow them to, at the end of your opponent's fight phase, them and their unit will be able to leave the table.
This is sick.
And then you'll get another turn to be active, I suppose, in applying.
That's just good as a utility unit. Like you might even just play a utility cannon, like jump canoness, who could just up down. Like that's actually sick, because that's not an effect that Adepta Sororitas have had before. Uppy Downy, I think, is they're like one of the like 2 factions of the game that doesn't have access to it.
The detachment rule.
Yeah, so you can drop in with that unit, highlight an enemy unit for destruction, exorcists, multi-melters, everything, fire at it. That unit can then remove itself from the battlefield, drop down somewhere else later on in the game to do the same again.
Exactly right. Stay active in the game, stay progressing your board state, and keep applying, that detection range. Of course, a lot of people would be thinking that things like those long-range pieces would be less good on day one, but abilities like this put them straight back into the game immediately with powerful things to do. And of course, if you're giving something that detection range, you're going to be working around that to make sure you have pieces applicable to get into it.
Yeah, and there's one of the stratagems works very well with that, which is harmonized exorcism. This is a stratagem that works, kind of promotes that synergy between the fly infantry units and your battle tanks. How does this work?
Exactly right. So for one command point, your exorcist, which has not yet been selected to shoot, will then be able to select one unit that is visible and within 9 of a fly infantry unit, and then they'll get +1 to their hit rolls. Now this is an interesting interaction with indirect fire, but over and above that, just getting to hit better and better and better. And this is a pseudo ignoring cover ability as well, because of course we know being in cover is -1 to hit, and this is +1
Oh
to hit.
yeah. So exorcists have indirect fire, chat. I think some of you might be misreading the stratagem. The stratagem requires that the flying unit be visible, or that the enemy unit be visible to the flying unit. Now, this is important because it's likely that assuming that all the indirect fire mechanics stay the same, Army of Faith does? Alright, well, you know what? Fair enough, chat. I stand corrected. Does the enhancement only work on the solo canoness? Yeah, and whatever unit it's in. So if you would join her with like Zephyrum or whatever, it works on them. Oh, I guess to answer your question, the answer is no. It works on the entire unit. The canoness does not have to be solo, but you could be solo in order to just up down more easily. But because the new cover rule has been explicitly stated to be a ballistic skill modifier, and firing indirectly, at least in 10th edition, and we have no reason to believe it will change in 11th edition, gives you a -1 to hit penalty. A Exorcist firing indirect fire into a unit in cover, which in most cases will be just any unit you can't see. At least, I think, monsters and vehicles will automatically get it. Infantry, I think, will have to be inside the train feature, but we have to see exactly how that works. But it's likely that you're firing indirect fire, and the target unit will be benefiting from cover. That means you hit on 5s. Even if they retain the restriction that indirect fire only ever hits on a natural 4, +1 to hit gets around half of that downside. It's just the only requirement is that you have a flying unit, a jump peg unit, that can spot for your Exorcist. So the Exorcist can remain out of line of sight. The flying unit runs up within 9 inches of an enemy and spots the enemy, and the Exorcist gets +1 to hit for it. Which seems good. So today, yeah, an Exorcist is helped by +1 to hit, with the assumption that because explicitly cover as a ballistic skill modifier, so it stacks with a -1 effect. Yeah, so +1 to hit does make sense. Right, but if they don't have cover, then this is just whatever. You almost could have just given them ignore cover, but I don't know. Actually, one of the Exorcist profiles like has ignore cover, right, Mikey? Is it the incendiary one, the anti-infantry one? This does seem like a very limited use case. You have to jump through a lot of hoops to get one attack +1 to hit. But that is, I think, the case for, the Conflagration Rocket has ignore cover chance. Can confirm. So then, yeah, I guess you could be hitting on still 4s. That wouldn't really help you there. Assuming that the 4s thing actually makes the transition between editions. We actually don't know. But in fairness, AP1 is going to be more relevant, I think, in a lot of ways. So it might be helpful. But you're taking this gunshot, I think, generally, if you're playing Exorcists. Because we want to kill stuff instead of just tickling them. But like I said, I think in the past, a lot of these stratagems feel very underpowered, but I think that the stratagems will be less powerful for 1 detachment point detachments. I would be surprised if stratagems in the more expensive detachments did not sort of remain at the current power level of stratagems, which is relatively powerful, if not like wildly game changing. So, yeah, I don't know. This is an okay effect. If you are direct firing, yeah, you can hit on 2s, which is actually pretty reasonable too. So I don't know. It is one of the stratagems of all time. Exorcists are currently not very well played, like very highly played, but maybe that will change. I don't know. Maybe it's with the improvement of line of sight blocking terrain in the new edition. It seems like a lot of things are going to be hidden more easily, not just using the mechanic, but also just physically behind line of sight blockers, and having a indirect fire platform to force them into combat, I think will help a little bit, maybe.
Could, in theory, have ignores cover as well and double up on this if you find another way.
Nowhere to hide from the Emperor's Judgment.
Exactly right. I think it's a really cool ability.
Great. Well, moving on to one of the next detachments. This is one of the more unusual detachments across the new edition. Sometimes the detachments work the way that they always have, where you get enhancements and you get stratagems and army abilities, but some of them really focus in on a specific model or a specific type of model and buff that, and this is one of those examples. It's called Sanctified Orators. Yeah,
this zones in specifically on your Adepta Sororitas characters, in addition to them getting +1 leadership, and of course they will pass that on to any units that they are leading. You'll also get to take the detachment from this, so the enhancement rather, from this detachment, in addition to as many others as you feel like taking, up to the legal limit for your choice of battle size.
And the way that
so this is like kind of the Emperor's Champion style detachment. Also +1 leadership, pretty effective. You can get, I think Palatine started at 6, right? So you can get them down to 5. I'm gonna fact check myself on that. Oh no, they started at 7. But does it affect the epic heroes? It does. It doesn't say non-epic hero, so we can get the epic heroes down to 5s, which is actually kind of nuts, especially when you consider that you might have to be retaking them. I think Morven's a 6, right? Morven is a 6. What's the Triumph? Triumph is a 6. So all of those can be 5s. That's incredibly brave. Here's the other thing too, chat. This is Adepta Sororitas characters, but it doesn't necessarily check for Adepta Sororitas character units, but it doesn't necessarily check for Adepta Sororitas characters. So there are cases where you can like put Imperial agents into units and then improve their leadership with this effect, because it'll affect them regardless. If you have a Inquisitor inside your squad, you are both an Adepta Sororitas and a character unit, so you get the benefit. I don't know if that'll matter so much. Like, you know, I don't know how often we're taking Kyria Draxus inside of a Adepta Sororitas army, but if we need more access to very low leadership characteristics, we could potentially get it. I know that is an issue with the faction currently, is that they are incredibly easy to battle shock outside of those very rare character units like the epic heroes. So that's interesting. And this one does feel like one that is likely to be taken alongside other things. And so just being able to kind of improve a lot of your leadership characteristics across the board does feel like it's going to be pretty good. Hello, Inky.
This enhancement works is that it's a really flexible enhancement. Effectively, you've got one of your
the battle shock change too.
Leaders, Canoness or something. They are an inspired orator, so whatever the situation demands, they have the tool to solve it. So there's things in there that increase movement, that increase the strength of the unit. You can automatically pass battle shock tests. That could be game-winningly important.
Absolutely. There is essentially a pick your poison of different abilities you can apply to this character and therefore their unit as well. And it's an interesting kind of a detachment design.
I think that they've moved over to the Hagiomnifex, which feels like, and I like this direction. It feels like the point of this detachment is this one enhancement. This very much feels like the Emperor's Champion detachment. I almost said Emperor's Children. The Emperor's Champion detachment, where you have one enhancement that doesn't count against your enhancement total, and it improves, like dramatically improves the power of your Emperor's Champion. This has a very minor effect for your characters, but also says your enhancements don't count against your enhancement total. And if you take it and you pay the one detachment point, you get access to this crazy upgrade. And this upgrade is actually nuts. I have a sneaking suspicion that this upgrade may be nerfed because it doesn't feel like it is actually written correctly. We'll talk about, I think they're about to go over what it is. But here's what it says. At the start of a phase, you can use the Hagiomnifex ability. It's once per turn per unit, which means that it works on both you and your opponent's units. You select one of the abilities below. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't say that those abilities like have any sort of limit to them, right? It doesn't say that you can only have one active at a time. And it doesn't say that they ever stop working, which means that within 2.5 battle rounds, you will have all 5 of them active. Now, I imagine because they're named effects, I doubt that they stack like together over and over. Like, I don't think if you take Psalm of Righteous Smiting, you get multiple instances of +1 strength because you can only ever have one Psalm of Righteous Smiting, right? It's a named effect, I assume, but the thing is that I could have all 5 of these at any one time. And because this works once per turn, I can just be activating them constantly. I have a sneaking suspicion that it's not supposed to work that way. I bet that it's only supposed to work for that turn. But it doesn't say that. So we will see. Yeah, also only command phase, right? Because like you could activate it and be like, I'm going to go +6 inches to detection range, then immediately on your opponent's turn, you flip to -1, like the strength higher than toughness, you get -1, which is, honestly, if you're in a Sororitas character unit, that's basically all the time, right? Everything's toughness 3, so it's going to be pretty easy to trigger. So, like, you can have, like, +1 movement, +1 strength, on your turn and then flip it into a -1 to be hit wounded effect on your opponent's turn. That's the worst case scenario. The best case scenario is that you have all those all the time. Which feels crazy if I'm being honest. This is also an upgrade, so you can take it a bunch of different times. You can take it 3 times. You can have 3 units with all 5 of these abilities active at the same time. So it's pretty wild. Yeah, you can also use it reactively too, because like you can like wait until your opponent's charge phase or something to know if they're going to attack you, and then you can flip into the -1 to wound one. Yeah, it feels extremely strong. Not to mention the fact that they do talk about it, I think, later on in this thing, where these detachments cost most likely 1 detachment point, and so you can combine them together with existing detachments, which will most likely cost 2 detachment points in a Strike Force game. So we could be taking this alongside something like Hallowed Martyrs, which lets you respawn those characters and get additional use out of them. It's also important to note that this does not require that the character is leading a unit. So even if the unit is destroyed, your Palatine, for example, that you have through, I guess you probably wouldn't have through Suffering Strength on them because that's another enhancement. However, your Palatine could have all these active on her as she's running around as a solo character as well. Now, that said, this could be how it's supposed to work because this is the entirety of your detachment. But we will see. We'll see how it goes. It does feel to me like there's a bunch of pitfalls that Games Workshop oftentimes like runs into, which is like forgetting to key your turn or forgetting to add a turn, like a some sort of time limit on the limitation of an effect. And this has all of those hallmarks. So it could be intentional, but I would not be surprised if this ended up day 1 eroded. We will see. We will see.
And because without having stratagems on here, they've been able to make an enhancement that is just so amazing.
Just a toolbox of stuff.
It is worth a bunch of stratagems in and of itself. Of course, it'll only be able to apply to a single unit. But like you said, you can plus detection range. You can unbattle shock yourself. Which is a big deal. We can unpack that for a whole.
The unbattle shock is actually sick too, by the way. Especially if that's like, if that can affect you permanently, your unit can just no longer become battle shocked, except by deterministic effects. So like something that's like you just American destroyed transport, you are battle shocked would hit you, but then you immediately unbattle shock when you go to your next command phase. And if you're below half strength, you automatically pass battle shock all the way, which is fucking wild.
Focus by itself because you don't auto unbattle shock anymore. You don't automatically unbattle shock.
Yeah, so this is one of the few ways you'd have in your army to auto pass a battle shock test.
Correct.
It's not something, if you're already battle shocked, you can't use command to undo that anymore.
Correct, and you don't just automatically become unbattle shocked at the start of the command phase again. You have to actually earn that back by passing.
So almost for that
tests.
ability alone, this is worth having.
That's a 1 command point ability.
And this is probably one of those detachments that you wouldn't take it on its own. You'd add this onto an army that you've already got, right? So you've taken one of the other main detachments that buffs whatever unit you've got, and then you go, actually, I've got some points left to spend. Let's put it onto this. Let's make the characters even better.
Correct, and I'm going to make 1 super toolboxed unit that can really do whatever I need it to do tactically, and I think it gives a lot of generalship.
So they keep talking about this being 1 unit, but the fact that it's an upgrade lets you upgrade multiple units with it. They even specify that in the article. So like one unit's going to be strong, but 2 more units are going to be even stronger. And so what you could do is like, you can take Champions of Faith is probably like a really good example, where you're taking your Celestian Sacrosancts with like Hospitallers or whatever. And the Hospitallers all get, Hagiomnifexes. And suddenly you're also able to stack like your Champions of Faith buff with your Hagiomnifex buffs. Which is going to get wild. Honestly, speaking just purely candidly, this effect seems really good.
Of generalship to the player involved. Yeah, really high on this one.
Great. So the last detachment for the Adepta Sororitas is Sacred Champions, and this is a detachment that buffs the elite combat.
All right. Each one picks separately? Yeah, so each unit picks individually. So if I have 3 units with Hagiomnifexes, I will go 1 unit in my command phase will pick it can't be battle shocked, and then we go to shooting, and I'll be like, one unit will pick extra detection range, and one unit will pick +1 strength. And then we go to the next turn, and I'm like in my opponent's command phase, or my opponent's like movement phase. I'm gonna pick. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'll probably be picking -1 to be wounded, but also we could do like +1 strength reactively in response to charging in case I get an interruption or something. So each unit's basically just gonna have like a token next to them that you like cross off your Hagi Omnifex buffs. I imagine you get a little, you make a little playing card with like a check mark for each one, and you go, this is the ones that I have active. Tracking these will be hell. I don't think it's going to be that bad. Like I said, I think you need a token for it, but I do think in some cases there is going to be a little bit of a communication requirement between players because the amount of sort of additional persistent passive effects on the battlefield is going to be much higher. But what I think is going to be interesting is like the use of tokens. I would like to sort of standardize that a little bit more within the community. I think that one thing that 40K doesn't do very well right now is require like tokenation of its effects, and so it's indicated on the tabletop. And so having like a thing like a card or something that has like all your Hagi Omnifex bonuses on it would be really cool. A little dry erase thing that you can check off. What's my cat doing? Yeah. Also, like, even just generally having cards for your upgrades and enhancements so that you can put it next to the unit and be like, don't forget, I have free heroic intervention, or I have, like, whatever, all sorts of things. We'll see. Effects will be easier if effects is dropped at the end of the phase. That is true. Very true. If you're just like, oh, whatever, I'm just going to shoot my guns, and so I'll get +1 strength or whatever. That would be good. But it doesn't say that. So we'll see. We'll see how it works, chat. Maybe it's really expensive. I mean, that would make sense. They could just make it like super duper duper exorbitantly expensive. For sure.
Units of the Sisters of Battle.
It's all predicated around these Celestian Sacrosants, and it's going to straight up just give them +1 ballistic skill, +1 weapon skill. Nothing to dislike about that.
So they're just going to be extra fighty. Your already very competent combat unit is going to be able to go toe-to-toe with the elite of enemy armies.
Correct. In addition,
I like that they have +1 ballistic skill. So that their pistol shots hit on 2s. Let's go! This is a Reverend detachment. It has the tag, which I have a suspicion will maybe prevent its use alongside Champions of Faith, but I wouldn't like. I guess it wouldn't be crazy if they didn't update Champions of Faith. I guess because like the Champions bonus already gives you +1 weapon skill, so there's actually kind of a there's actually like kind of a anti-synergy there, but I wouldn't be shocked because this is explicitly supposed to buff Sacrosancts and Paragon Warsuits, I guess. But we'll see. I don't like you can't bring ballistic scale or weapon scale, at least in the current rules, to 1, so this would have no overlapping effect. It would just be the +1 movement. So it is what it is. Maybe we get gun Sacrosancts? Yeah, but then it wouldn't. I think it would say Celestian units. Oh, actually, I don't know what Celestian Sacrosanct keywords have. Oh, it is Celestian Sacrosancts. Yeah, I don't know. You could get like Celestian Sacrosanct emulsifiers or something, and it's just like they have a bunch of heavy bolters. But I don't know. It is funny that they buff their ballistic skill when they just have pistols. I guess it helps your Inferno pistols. That's pretty nice.
You'll get the Reverend keyword attached to your army should you take this detachment, which just means in the future, should they make any further Celestian Sacrosanct-based detachments, you won't be able to double up on those and make a super unit. But this is so good for these units. There is people who are already playing with the current Champions of Faith detachment are going to find just going straight into this one, the transition is going to be seamless.
Cool. And then they've got...
I guess it's what's interesting there is like, I don't know... Do they necessarily need to characterize that as a transition? Is it not that we can still play Champions of Faith? That's That's a digital release, like a digital content detachment, right? So it could be that those stuff is going away, which would be pretty wild. Does the kill team have the Incendents? I don't believe so. It does not, chat. They have the Celestian Incendents keyword. So it does not work with these ladies. It's only the other ones.
Enhancements, obviously, and stratagems that bolster that already great buff. One of the enhancements is Writ of Compunction. This is an upgrade, so...
Whoa! Old David Anderson in chat with 20 gifted memberships. Hot diggity damn. Congratulations to Letters from Links, J Prime, Martin Bergen, Phil Cass, Mr. Cellophane, Mary's Minis, Keith Kogan, Christopher Heron, Knob Monkey, Wicked City Gaming, Brewhammer, Brendan O'Shea, Alex Hood. Congratulations, David Anderson. That's huge. Thanks, bud. I appreciate that. That's what a big drop there. And everybody enjoy all those memberships. Get all those recorded videos, those recorded gameplay videos watched. Thank you so much.
So a whole unit of those sacristants immediately get better.
Exactly right. They get +1 objective control added to their profile. So they'll go to, a unit of 10 will go to OC 20 and be able to essentially flip or take any objective they like on the table.
From the Writ of Compunction enhancement, +1 OC to a Sacrosanct unit is an upgrade. So we can drop that to a lot of Sacrosancts. And then they do talk about buffing them with Dogmatas. Does Dogmatas still improve OC by 1? They do. So we could drop OC 3 Celestian Sacrosancts out of these things. Although, in fairness, I think a lot of times you want the Hospitallers with them to get the regeneration. I guess I don't know if you can dual attach. I guess you can't, right? Because you can only dual attach with like Palatines. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess, like, just being able to become OC2 is still kind of a big deal, especially because it's a unit that you want to be, like, regenerating onto an objective. So having OC characteristic goes a really long way.
As long as they're able to reach it. Now, why this is key is that you do not need a character attached to this unit in order to take this enhancement, this upgrade. And because of that, it really leads itself to, say, your second, your third unit of Sacrosancts that you're taking, say, and, this detachment can be taken along with other detachments as well. And so the list design gets really interesting when you consider if you were to just take a strong selection of units in, say, a Hallowed Martyrs detachment, and then decide you want to take, say, 20 Sacrosancts along for the ride in that. And then, of course, you can have one that is supercharged with, having attached characters and all various other buffs and supporting pieces, and then one just by itself, because it's good enough by itself.
Yeah, it makes it quite a good unit to just wander off away from the rest of your army. A lot of the time, Sisters to Battle is sort of a combined arms approach to the battle, whereas this unit can just sort of go the distance by itself.
Self-supporting, self-buffing, was already of above average durability as well. I think it's superb.
And then they've got a couple of stratagems that help them out as well. So you've got one called Faithful Fortitude, and this is just a really solid, straight-up, feel no pain save against mortal wounds.
Exactly right. Of course, you can also you can already access a 5-up feel no pain by taking a Hospitaller and attaching it to your squad. But let's say you didn't. Let's say you wanted to take one character.
Chat. What if we just didn't take a Hospitaller in our in our unit? Interesting. Yeah, I don't know why they keep getting excited about these. Like, I understand that, like we talked about it a bunch of different times, the power level of these detachments is dropping, right? Or the power level of these effects for 1 detachment point detachments are dropping. So it's like not everything can be this like windmill slam, like force multiplier crazy thing, but like, is this what we're showing off? We don't have like a sustained hits or whatever, strat, like a lance strat or anything for Celestial Sacrosancts. We have a 5+ field of pain against mortal wounds. Like, come on, man. That was it. That was what we could show here. I don't know, man. That's that always tickles me because this is like the 4th time they've shown one of these. And it's like, who cares? The stratagem is like so of such limited use case.
Points doesn't quite go that deep to get the Hospitaller into the second squad or third squad. This is a fantastic way of avoiding one of the pitfalls, because of course you have, -1 to wound, and you have so many druid ability buffs with the flock and vulnerable save already, and this is one of the ways to get around the last shortfall.
6,931 donated $5 through Super Chat. You can in 11th. They used the Hospitalker as example.
The Hospitalker. Did they? Oh, David Anderson got a membership himself. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Welcome in. I guess I don't know that for sure. That was like where they talked about attachments, right? Can we find that article? Turns out searching characters on the Warhammer community is not very helpful. Can we find the character article? Nope, we can't. I don't know where that is. I guess I would be surprised if any character could join anything, right? Especially with like how complex the character attachment restrictions are right now. I would appreciate that, because then we don't have to worry. We have to like keep track of 7 different ways that characters attach in with each other, which is incredibly obnoxious. The number of times I've like misquoted, like, oh, I don't think you can attach commissars into units because like it's only command squads. Like, no. You can dual attach with a command squad as long as you don't dual attach 2 command squads. But it could be with any character. And you're like, why? Why that one when a Space Marine Lieutenant can only attach with like a very specific selection of characters? Yeah, I have no idea where this article ended up, chat. If anybody has a link to it, that would be awesome. So we could verify. I don't know. It was during the reveal of the video. Oh, all right. Well, I'm not going to watch the video. I'm going to say, if that's true, it's great. That's awesome. That actually seems very powerful. It does mean that you're probably running like 250 or 270 point Celestian bricks, but they become OC3 and regenerate themselves and have a feel no pain, and potentially have access to like overlapping -1 to wound buffs and things like that, which would be very cool. Which would be sweet.
Beyond 6,931 donated $5 through Super Chat. If they have the support character tag, they can dual attack with anything.
I hope that's true. That would be very strong. I remember them talking about support, and it seems to me like support was the mechanic by which things dual attach, but I don't remember them saying explicitly that everything can now dual attach. But I don't know. I hope that's the case. That would be very, very good. Yeah, lieutenants going in with like judiciaries and stuff would be pretty wild. Necron's gonna get crazy. Yeah, with like, well, like what? I guess you could dual attach. Well, I guess it wouldn't be 2 support characters, right? It would be 1 character and up to 1 support character. Like up to 1 regular non-support, up to 1 support, if that's the case. So I wonder which one would be the support character, right? And if that's the case, because both the Dogmata and the Hospitaller have dual attachment clauses in them. So if they both are support characters, is it the case that they would be exclusive or restrictive to one another? So you couldn't dual attach 2 Hospitallers, for example, if they were both support attachments. Because then you could just like attach, 2 lieutenants or something, right? It feels like a thing where we'll have to see the actual rules before we assume that we can dual attach a bunch of different stuff. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Thank you for the super chats, Ryan. I appreciate that. You're the best. Second best next to David today, though. Let's see.
Should you not be able to afford that character?
Yeah, so there's a very good ability on those units because they have a great armor save, they've got a great invulnerable save, but low wounds means that mortal wounds really hurt.
Correct.
So this is a great way to kind of counteract that. And then last up, you've got unflinching determination.
Ooh, good strat.
And this is
This is not on the
Again,
article.
another ability that really makes that unit pop.
This is the formative stratagem. This is the bee's knees. This is the one you're going to build around and you're going to have. This is one of the reasons to take this detachment, in my opinion. It's one command point to ostensibly get assault on all your sacrosanct unit, the one you've applied this stratagem to. In addition to that, you get to advance and declare a charge and advance and shoot as well.
Hey,
so your
let's
unit
go.
that has +1 ballistic skill and +1 weapon skill already now gets to access the +1 ballistic skill and the +1 weapon skill after its advance as well, just for one command point, adding so much value to the unit. This is a formative stratagem.
That's it. Yeah, that's really strong. If we're dropping that alongside Sanctified Orators and we're already at +1 movement, so we like disembark a Rhino. We'll have to see what the timing is, obviously, and also how embarkation works entirely. But if we disembark a Rhino, we're 3 inches farther forward. We have +1 movement, so we're even farther forward, and then we advance and charge, and then you can miracle the advance and the charge. That's pretty far out, chat.
Pieces and reasons to take this.
I mean, anywhere where you get the ability to have advanced.
Why is that one
charge
not in the
effectively.
article? So you can read the. So you have to watch the video. So they encourage you to watch your video for engagement.
It's just extending the threat range
correct.
of what is, because of this, probably one of your best units.
I believe so. I believe this detachment takes sacrosanct.
I bet there's like a whole. Also, hold up. Is this a new faction symbol? That is not the original faction symbol. I wonder, chat. Oh, I guess it's not. I guess it's on the old models. It's just I don't think I've ever seen it like written out like drawn out like that. No, the old ones have the fleur-de-lis with the 3 points. This one has like 5 points. Weird. If I'm looking at these ones, like that's a traditional fleur-de-lis. This is a new thing. This thing, whatever this thing is. It has 2 extra points on it. I have a sneaking suspicion. Also, these are like, skinnier and like more curvy. This looks more like a spearhead. I have a sneaking suspicion, chat, that the traditional fleur-de-lis is in public domain and cannot be copyrighted. And so they made a new one. I would put money on that being the case. Classic. I had somebody in the comment section the other day because I made a video about old Eldar, and they were like, "How come we're called Eldari now?" And I was like, "Real talk, so you can copyright because Eldar's a mythological term and it's in public domain." That's so fucking funny.
The best units in the game, just to a whole new level. In addition to being able to kind of do it all, you have access to the +1 objective control as well. They can kind of just do everything at this point.
Great. Well, Adam, thank you so much. That was the faction focus for Adepta Sororitas. We will be back with more faction focuses for more Warhammer 40,000 armies very soon.
Cool. Seems good, chat. This effect is fucking wild. I'm excited to see exactly how that develops as we go. This effect is insane. They're talking about World Eaters tomorrow, so that's what will be on tomorrow. I'm also interested, just like as an aside, I guess, I imagine that there's like some level of like marketing game theory behind these articles where they have to keep their like read length within a certain time frame, so there's like a limited amount of extra things they could put in. But then also, I wonder if incorporating specific pieces of information inside the video to create like a information, what's the word? Like an imbalance, like an information imbalance between the people who watch the video versus the people who read the article, is a way to like artificially encourage discussion. I bet that there's like I bet that someone had a presentation with a PowerPoint about how that works psychologically on people that they gave somewhere, and that's why they do that. I'm very cynical these days, champ. Thank God we spelled orcs with a K. Well, they didn't for a while, right? Oh no, they did. The orcs were always K's. Oryx was the one that they did in in Age of Sigmar. Oh man, yeah, I'm excited about World Eaters, chat. I'm curious how they will treat the melee focused factions, because as we talked about, it does feel like the melee sort of the fight phase is going to be very good for these melee armies. The charge phase may be less so, But the fight phases does seem like it's going to be incredible, so we'll see. It gives like GW a lot of credit for thinking about through marketing. Yeah, that's true. Actually, in fairness, the videos are full of inaccuracies sometimes, and so are the articles. It's almost like the accuracy of information on the internet is not as important as that information's ability to engender engagement. It's almost like we live in an engagement economy, and the actual content is less relevant. Well, think about that, chat. Not get to Tau until the day before they launch? I hope not. I hope we see Tau. I feel bad for the fact it's going to be at the end here. I am cautious. I mean, I'm excited to see, like, I like that. I mean, some of these effects are really strong. They seem very strong, and fortunately, it seems like a lot of the factions that have been kind of mid in the tail end of 10th edition here are the ones that are getting strong stuff when we go to 11th edition. So that gives me a little bit of hope here for like the index season that we're about to hop into. So we'll see. Cool. Anyway, chat, that's gonna be it for us today. I'll probably be live on Twitch later on this evening, so if you are interested in some gameplay stuff, I have some stuff that I kind of want to play, but it depends on how much time I end up having. But otherwise, we'll be live tomorrow, of course, with a Tuesday World Eater discussion, so I'll see you there. Thanks again to Warhammer Skulls for sending me a big box of stuff, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers, everybody.
Briong 6931 donated $2 through Super Chat. Whoa. Trevi with the hair Darin Uruk.